Hi, this is Evan English for Old English Outfitters YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about the Winchester XPR bolt action in 350 Legend. And what we have in front of us here today is the Sporter version, although there's probably 8 to 12 different versions that I saw in different camos, synthetic stock, etc. This is the one we have here today. It was all set up with a Burris MTAC scope on it, and it was honestly a pleasure to shoot. Let me start kind of at the muzzle and work my way back. Some of the features of this rifle that Winchester touts is the recessed crown. It protects that crown from getting damaged from any sort of impact, keeps it from getting nicks that are going to cause you some damage to your accuracy. On the outside of all the metal surfaces is a permacoat matte black finish that will keep from scaring game. There's going to be anti-glare, but also very durable. It is a button rifled barrel and a action that is machined out of solid bar stock. So it's a strong action. Some of the features of the action that are, and I've grown up with the Winchester Model 70, and this has, according to Winchester, grown out of that. Things that we learn from our predecessors are things that make us better, and that is Winchester's claim to this rifle. It is hard for me to in any way to diminish the Model 70 and all that it's been as a rifle for so many years. But I will say this rifle does stand up to what they're saying. It does work extremely well. What you have is your bolt is a nickel Teflon coated so that it has a very smooth glide to it. The safety is a two-position safety, but it has a bolt lock and unlock. Now, this is one of the big improvements in that you can leave the safety on and still open the bolt by pressing down on the bolt unlock, lifting the bolt. It does a smooth sliding bolt with the nickel Teflon coating. Feeds very well. It is a push feed. By push feed, I mean that it pushes the shell out of the magazine and that it does not control the feed like the old Model 70 or a Mauser where the rim of the cartridge has to slide up underneath the extractor on the way into the chamber. So you'll see the shell kind of rattle around just a little bit on its way into the chamber. Not that that's any sort of detraction from its value. It does an extremely good job and still very accurate. It is a detachable box magazine. So the magazine on this rifle, just press the release, slide it out. It's a 3-shot magazine. As we move on back, you've got a grade 1 walnut stock on this Sporter. I believe it's the only model that Winchester's making of this XPR is the Sporter with the walnut stock. As an old guy, I grew up on blued steel and walnut, so this has a certain appeal to it. Some would say that this is not as durable in the field, and they would be correct. This would be a lot easier to nick up or scratch up. However, there is still nothing like the feel of a walnut stock underneath your cheek when you set it on, especially when it's cold. You can argue both sides of that, and it's still just an extremely nice rifle. On the tail end here, they have the Inflex recoil pad. This recoil pad, and I can say that I honestly felt this, is supposed to direct the impact of the recoil down and away from your face. So it kind of, when it flexes down and away. Very pleasant to shoot. Now, I can't say I was shooting a super magnum caliber, so I can't say that how it's going to feel under that kind of pressure. But with the 350 Legend, which is reasonably pleasant to start with, I didn't even notice it. Recoil was no factor. I had no cheek soreness when I was done. So I will say that recoil pad does what they say it's going to do. Inside the walnut stock that I talked about, they have also got a recoil lug block inside of there to keep the action from torquing inside the stock. Should help with long range accuracy. Last but not least, Winchester, what they call their MOA trigger, touts 0 take up, 0 creep, 0 over travel. It still is a consistent, probably 3 to 4 pounds, but it's very crisp. So I didn't find that it was a big detraction. I just had to get used to the poundage a little bit as compared to, say, a 2.5, 3 pound trigger. It's a little bit stiffer than that, but still very crisp, very shootable. When we shot this on paper, I was just resting it off of a sandbag. I was still standing. We didn't go to a full bench setup. Still shot at about 60 yards, and it was just over an inch in group, probably inch and a quarter in group, and it's just very pleasant to shoot. So as we talk about this rifle, it's as much of a talk about the caliber as anything. We in Ohio, because this is a straight wall caliber, we're in love with this caliber. We reviewed the Ruger American rifle here, it's probably been over a year ago. And one of the things we couldn't get over with it was how pleasant the rifle was, how pleasant the caliber was to shoot, and how accurate it was right out of the box. Even that rifle shot very tight groups, shooting a very similar rest, just a simple rest. I did shoot some of these offhand, and I can't claim that I am some spectacular offhand shooter, but I would say for a hunting rifle, this at 60 to 100 yards is still going to be a reasonably accurate to shoot offhand or just with a simple rest up against a tree. The trigger was good for that as well. I was able to squeeze it off without too much trouble shooting it offhand. So as we talk about the caliber, there's several, and I wouldn't begin to name the number of different manufacturers and bullet weights that are available for this caliber. The velocities that I'm seeing are 21 to 2,500 feet per second, with bullet weights from 120 some grains to up to 180 grains, possibly even higher. So you've got a variety of choices and trajectories that you're able to choose. As someone who would hunt deer in Ohio, this is perfect. This is perfect for that 50 to 150 yards. It's going to carry well. It's a lightweight rifle, and it's really, really going to perform well in our conditions. If you were to translate that to another state, I would not be afraid to take this to a state like Pennsylvania or West Virginia or another state where that's the range of shots I'm going to be taking on a deer like white-tailed deer or mule deer, where I'm not looking for super deep penetration. I'm just looking for the right round, the right trajectory, and something that's pleasant to hunt with, pleasant to shoot. And I'm going to get that out of a 350 Legend. I challenge anybody. If you've got a buddy that has one, you need to try it. You won't believe how pleasant it is to shoot. I am self-admittedly not a rifleman. I don't shoot a lot of rifles. I would use one. I'm utilitarian in that I would use one to hunt. But on any given day, I'm a shotgun guy. I'm going to be a bird hunter. But this is a rifle I would hunt with. And am tempted every time I try one to set one back and keep it for myself, because they are just highly effective, very pleasant to shoot, and highly accurate. So take a look at these. Take a look at the Winchester group of rifles in general, in specific, but in general, take a look at the caliber. If this is something that works for your state, if this is something that works for you in your hunting conditions, again, in that 50 to 200 yards, this is a good caliber for that. It's going to be accurate. It's going to be pleasant to shoot, and I believe you'll like it. This is Evan English for Old English Outfitters YouTube channel. Please give us a like, comment down below if you've got something to tell us, and subscribe to our channel. See you next week.